Renowned author Chimamanda Adichie has served a legal notice on a private Lagos hospital, which she accused of medical negligence following the death of her 21-month-old son, Nkanu. The notice alleges breach of duty of care during procedures on January 6th of this year, ahead of planned medical evacuations to the United States. The child underwent several procedures under sedation. The notice claims he developed severe complications during transfer between clinical areas, raising what was described as serious concerns about safety protocol compliance. He was pronounced dead in the early hours of January 7th. Alleged lapses include inappropriate sedation, dosing, inadequate airway protection, failure in continuous monitoring, and transfer without supplemental oxygen or sufficient personnel. The parents also cite a failure to obtain proper informed consent. Adichie's lawyers have demanded all medical records and evidence be preserved and provided within 7 days, warning of legal action if the hospital fails to comply. Well, lawyer and author of the book on medical negligence, Dr. Maxwell Opara, joins us now for a chat over this controversy over Chimamanda Adichie's late son and to shed light on the extent to which the law shields doctors for paying for medical negligence. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Dr. Maxwell Opara.
Thank you, Temitope. Thank you, Hawa. It's my pleasure to be here once again.
It's an unfortunate subject to discuss, but as our intro said, there will be an investigation. What can we expect from this investigation process, in your opinion? The family is alleging many things. In a court of law, how difficult is it to prove gross negligence versus a complications in a known risk for a patient?
Okay, I want to start by, first of all, sympathizing with our sister Chimamanda and our in-law, the husband, for this avoidable death of their son. It's only God that can console them at this period. Having said that, well, I have seen the narration by Chimamanda, what happened, and I have not also been able to hear from the hospital or from the medical practitioner. So, but going by the available information before us, I think there is a medical negligence. Now, I'm speaking this thing based on my authority, my experience in that field, because I'm a PhD in medical law. So, and you see, the issue that where we can establish medical negligence is informed consent. What do I mean? Once you enter into a hospital and you obtain a card from that hospital, you have established a relationship. Doctor and patient's relationship has been established between you and the hospital. Now, immediately the hospital now assigned a particular medical doctor to you and they send their folder to the doctor. Now, the doctor now and the hospital owe you that duty. What are the duties? One, the duty to inform you in whatever medication they are going to give. They are expected to inform you. Going by what Chimamanda said, that a particular drug was given to the son, which led to the death of that innocent child. Now, you now discover that the doctor did not obtain the consent of the mother, that is Chimamanda, or the father, considering the fact that the child is a minor. And the law said not only consent, informed consent. You see, most of the times when you go to hospital, they will say that they want to take your wife or your husband to the theater, that you should sign. Madam, sign here. Oga, sign here. No, you should be able to explain to them what they're going to sign. And the law said you should inform them. If you're going to give a medication, you should tell them, look at this particular medication. This medication is meant for this, and the dose for a child like this is this. Should I go ahead and give? That is what the law said. Because now you discover that the majority, the problem we're having in our medical institution and from our medical practitioners, they don't know what is called medical negligence itself. And I have been written an article on it saying that they should have a medical negligence as a course, especially when they're about to leave the university, either in their final year or during their houseman or whatever thing. They should be able to know, because one, had it been that the doctor is aware that you don't administer a particular drug on a minor without the consent of the parents who brought the child in the hospital. I think that is where the problem started. Because had it been that you said, Madam, your child is suffering from this, we are going to administer this drug, and look at the negative effect, look at the adverse effect. You should be able to explain to her. The law said if the person is illiterate, the law said you should be able to explain to the person in the language he will understand, because the person is not a medical doctor. So that the person will be able to say, okay, go ahead. Are you getting what I'm saying? So in this particular case, Chimamanda said that they threw the child inside, they gave the child the drug. When the drug reacted, the doctor carried the baby, and one thing or the other, every other thing is now a story. So you see that there is a medical negligence in that particular aspect. So now that one is one. Then secondly, you now see that they are demanding for record. You don't demand for record after. The law said as you enter into the hospital, that record is their personal property. Immediately you paid, it's your personal property. The issue of hiding for what? It's just like I'm a lawyer. If you pay me to do a matter for you, and you said that, please, my barrister, can I have my file? I should be able to give you your file. It's your file. If you want to take a file, you take a file. So the issue of hiding medical record, that is where we are failing it. Because medical institutions and medical practitioners are taking advantage of the ignorance of majority of people in this part of the country, and they are misbehaving. Because your medical record, they should be explaining to you every stage they are taking, especially this period of technology. They should be sending it to your email or through your WhatsApp or whatever, through whatever electronic distance. You should be having them. As you're going to the hospital, they should be giving it to you. Not to, when something happened, you start demanding it. So the essence of this program now, by Arise, is to inform our people. As you enter into the hospital, it is your right, your medical folder, your right, it's your right to know what the doctor is doing. Most of the times they say that they can't read the handwriting of the doctor. Somebody should be able to read it to you. You should be able to know. So these are the issues. For me, going by what, remember that I started by saying that we have not been able to hear from the hospital or from the doctor. We are only going by what Chimamanda said. There is a medical negligence, and I encourage them to follow it up.
Now, thank you very much, for enlightening Nigerians on their rights. But then I'm wondering, how long do medical negligence cases typically take in Nigeria? And how high is the burden of proof on patients or their families in alleging negligence against medical professionals?
Yes, I thank you for that question. You see, the problem we are having in Nigeria is proof of medical negligence in some certain cases, because there are some issues that you required experts to prove. So in a proof of medical negligence, you prove your medical negligence through the record. You prove medical negligence through the evidence available to you. You prove medical negligence most especially through experts. That is what this book, Litigating Medical Negligence, is trying to solve. Is in the market. If you go through the book, you discover how to prove medical negligence, like this particular issue now, going by this particular instance. Because when you have medical negligence that happened in the theater, now it required probably what the doctor wrote, and it required another doctor to come and testify. But I don't know of every other state. But I know in FCT here, no doctor, no single doctor will agree to come and testify against the fellow doctors. I am telling you, no doctor will agree to come and testify against any health institution. These are the challenges, the biggest challenges we're having in the proof of medical negligence. Because when you say that there is a medical negligence, in some cases, so you required a medical expert to come and establish before the court that there was a medical negligence and look at what actually happened. You cannot call that woman that's selling Ogo or that keke napep driver to come and testify, because they are not experts in that field. But there are some ones that you don't even need experts, especially where the doctor or the medical institution or any medical practitioner fail to give that informed consent, failed to give that explanation, and he went ahead to go and administer a medication which may resulted to a death or whatever deformity on the patient. That one, I don't think that you require medical expert. But the challenges you are having in some cases is getting medical expert. No doctor. In fact, one in FCT here told me that they cannot, that there is no doctor who has not been a victim of medical negligence. And anybody who is living in a glass house, that's what the doctor told me, cannot throw a stone. So these are the issues, the challenges, the biggest challenges. When you apply that, please, we want to subpoena you to come and testify, including the one, like there was, I won't mention the hospital, the one that we are doing in Abuja here. A particular hospital committed a medical negligence. We went to a hospital. The hospital corrected it. Now, when the matter now went to court, we are calling the doctor that corrected that to come and testify. He said, no, I'm not coming to testify. Of course, you see, he may be competent, but he's not compellable. And if you force him to come and testify, he may testify against you or may not give you the evidence and testimony that will help you to establish your case. So these are the biggest challenge. But on this particular one, if you are going forward, if you are going to the hospital, you can begin to gather your documents. And most importantly, so that I will not forget this one, the doctors, most of them don't even know that what they are doing is medical negligence. Most of them don't even know that what they are doing is medical negligence. We have seen one, I think it was a story which has been confirmed, where a nurse said, why should you write this thing? How do we make our money in this hospital? You should write drip, you should write this. All those things are medical negligence. So if the doctors, as we have in the civilized world, if they can be able to know the meaning of medical negligence and know what medical negligence is all about, I think it will go a long way of getting these problems solved. At least the doctor or the pharmacy or any medical practitioner will be able to say, yes, I'm not supposed to give this person this drug without informing the person, without due explanation, without letting the person know, without seeking his consent for me to go ahead to do. Also, medical negligence is not also on the side of the doctor. The medical negligence may be committed as a result of the action of the patient. So most of the times the patient say, remove this drip. You said no. If you remove this drip, you say, my friend, remove this drip. That patient should be able to tell you, especially this period of technology, you should be able to video that the patient on his own said that you should remove the drip and discharge him. So, but if you go ahead without all this explanation and something happens, you may be liable of medical negligence.
Yes.
I can go on and on and on and
yes.
on. But going forward, these are the major issue. From the time you are entering the hospital, you should be able to get your facts together.
And there is a lot of discussion about the conspiracy of silence amongst Nigerian doctors, especially when it comes to winning negligence cases. But we know that the hospital in question has denied any of this negligence. They stated that the child was critically ill when the child arrived at the hospital. How does a patient's pre-existing condition, and in this case, I'm alleging it's an infection that was called viral encephalitis that the child had, how does it typically impact the legal causation element to prove medical negligence?
Yes, it's laughable from what you said, the doctor said, that the child is critically ill when he was brought to the hospital. If the child is not ill, why should they take him to the hospital? They brought him to the hospital because he's critically ill. So, and you are an expert. You are an expert, and that's why they allow you to do whatever thing you feel that you can do. So the comment to say that the child is critically ill or whatever thing, that one should not even be a defense. The defense is that you owe these people a duty, and you breach that duty. What are the duties? You administered a drug that you are not supposed to administer to the child without the consent of the parents. That is the major issue. You should be able to explain to court or whoever, or to the tribunal or whoever that is going to adjudicate on the matter, that the mother was here, and I explained to the mother, and I told the mother, and this particular drug is not harmful. We have been giving it, and going by the production, going by the everything that has to do with that drug, a child of this, a little child of that, like that of Nkanu, can take it and nothing will happen. So that one is one. Then two, and before I even administered the drug on the child, I was able to explain to the mother who was around, and they gave consent. I explained to them. So these are the only defense you have. The defense of he was critically ill and this thing, I did what I supposed to do. What is that you're supposed to do? You are not talking to an illiterate. You are not talking to imbecile. You are talking to people who are educated to an extent. So I don't know how the hospital will come out of it. Just like the Alan that the father of the boy, the husband of Chimamanda has applied to have the record. So, but what I'm trying to say in this particular issue is that if you are in the hospital, from the first day, from that particular time they give you a card, immediately the doctor, after asking you those preliminary information, who is your father, do you have it? Immediately after that, they should give you that particular record of that day. Is your right? They should give you. If they say that they cannot type it, let them photocopy and give you. Is your right? That one is one. As they are going forward, every stage they are taking, whether it's your husband, your wife, your child, your father, your mother, they should be able to explain to you what they are doing. We are talking about life, and that is why the laws are there.
No, very well
so
said.
that is the position. So that particular defense cannot avail them.
Now, earlier you talked about the fact that you believe medical negligence should be taken, for students in medical school. Now, I understand that jurisprudence, medical ethics, and law, they are being taught in medical schools here in Nigeria. So based on that, I'm wondering what other reforms are needed to improve accountability in Nigeria's healthcare system without encouraging, without overflogging our law courts, which in most cases, take years before judgment is delivered.
Well, just like as I told you, I research on medical law and in my PhD. And in the course of my research, I discovered that they were only teaching them about all those medical ethics, all those professionalism, what a doctor should do and what a doctor should not do. Those they did not go deep. I know what I'm saying. I tried God's, I think it's a University of Ilorin and University of Abuja. These are the two universities, to the best of my knowledge, that are offering medical law. Now, I try as much as possible to go to some faculty of College of Medicine to get their curriculum and what they are doing so as to enrich my work. So I discovered that most of them don't even know what they are talking about. In fact, when I gave a professor of law this particular book, he read it and he sent me a message that I should come to the faculty of College of Medicine to come and present a paper on this book. So they are not even aware. Most of them don't even know what is medical negligence in line with the law. Most of them don't even know the legal framework that are regulating their professional practices. So they should go deep. They should be able to, like now, and moreover, you discover that most of the cases of medical negligence in Nigeria, they don't go to court. If immediately everything happened, either they consider religion, they consider culture, they say there's somebody who is dead. Are you going to court for the judge to do what? For the person to come back? Let's leave it for God. These are the challenges we are having. And that is why we will see increment of medical negligence. Check the rate of medical negligence here in Nigeria. Check the rate of medical negligence in a place like UK, America, and what have you. Because those people are informed. And they know that, yes, if you commit any medical negligence, you go in for it, you pay. Whether as a medical practitioner or as a medical institution. So these are the issues. So we encourage people, like now, this particular issue that Chimamanda and the husband are passing through. Don't be surprised that people will say, please, you people should just forget it, forgive him, we are all Christians, blah, 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 using religion. But if they're able to push on it, there is one that happened in Abuja here. I said, no, we will follow it up. But I thank God that Judo Keke of blessed memory gave a judgment on it and awarded costs against that hospital. Then went to an appeal. We won them an appeal. We are now in Supreme Court. So these are the only area to let them know that if you commit medical negligence, it's not going to be business as usual. So we, the citizens, we also encourage them, because once such a thing happens, you follow it up to the latter so that others can learn from it. So these are the issues, the challenges we are having. If you go into my book, The Challenges of Medical Negligence is a particular chapter here. I explain it in that book. So for people to know, these are the challenges we are having.
Well, Dr. Maxwell Opara, thank you so much for joining us today here on Newsday.